some time ago I was reading about these what's called this the zombie the zombie forming fungus that in certain kinds of ant, these carpenter ants in the tropics, they take in the spores of this particular kind of fungus, and then when this fungus enters into the body of the ants, it's a particular quirk of evolution. You might wonder what I'm talking about now, but stay with me. So there's a particular quirk of evolution, the way that this fungus has developed the capacity to spread itself around. It gets taken into the ants' bodies, and then these ants live up in the high branches and in the upper story of the forest. When the ants take in the spores of this fungus, and the fungus develops inside the ant's body, then it causes the ants to climb down the trees, down to a few feet above the forest floor level, and then they go out along a branch and they go onto the underside of a leaf, and then they clamp their mandibles into the underside of the leaf, and then they're frozen there. So this is completely against the will of the ants. The ant can do nothing about it. They become a zombie. So they're controlled by the fungus, and then they're having clamped their mandibles into the bottom of this leaf, they're frozen there, and then, and this is straight out of the kind of science fiction movies, then at a certain point this fruiting body of the fungus bursts out of the back of the ant's head. It's absolutely true. And then the fruiting body then eventually bursts and releases the spores into the atmosphere. And so that, and during that whole process, the ant can do absolutely nothing about it. The ant can't say, well, I don't want to go down the trunk. All my family's up here in the upper branches. I've had enough of this. They can't. They're completely compelled to follow the dictates of the fungus, and that they are utterly at the mercy of of this infection that causes them to behave in this strange way. There's another fungus that actually causes a different species of ant to climb out to the edge of a blade of grass and just sit there until the cow eats it. And then it's also developed so that it can go through the digestive tract of the cow, and then the spores arise from the cow dung. So in these situations, the ant is completely at the mercy of the effects of this fungus. So we might feel that that's what avijja is like, ignorance is like. We're completely taken over by this compulsion, and we're walking like we're going like a sleepwalker, or like the ant that's been invaded. That we're being carried along and saying, "I said I wasn't going to do this, and I'm doing it." And even though I said I wasn't going to do it, and I know I'm doing it, I'm still not stopping. I'm still doing it, even though I'm recognizing that I said I wasn't going to do this, and I'm doing it. And my feet are not stopping. I'm still moving towards the cookie jar. I'm still heading to the pub, or still angling for getting that hit. And so we can have that feeling of like I'm like the zombie ants, completely overtaken by this terrible compulsion. And I'm helpless. I'm a victim, carried along by the power of this invader who has turned me into a zombie. And even though we might feel like that at times, I would suggest that it's most important to recognize that's never really the case. We are not ants. We have capacities that are far greater, and even though there might be a very powerful current in any circumstance, there is a dimension of our being. There is that quality of mindfulness and wisdom that we can draw upon, even when that compulsion can seem to be absolutely unstoppable, or like there's nothing within our power to break the strength of that. I would suggest one of the things that is most helpful to draw upon from a retreat or a situation like this is to say, deeply etch that into our consciousness, our attitude that we are never a victim. As human beings, we have tremendous resources, we have capacities, and even though things might tell us, or that our thoughts might say, I have no power to resist this, I would say, yes, we do.